All right. We are live, Ryan. We are good to go. Welcome, everyone who's just tuning in. Today, we are going to be talking with the one and the only Ryan Nguyen about things to know about starting a business. So, welcome, Ryan. I'm so excited you're here. You and I met, it was last year for sure. It was in
Yep.
2019. And I remember the first time I met you, I was like, this guy is like super hardcore. He's straight to the point and he's super like you're just like really like from the outside. But then within like 5 minutes, you were like cracking jokes and doing rap songs in our um in our master networks group and doing
Yeah.
all these really funny things. So we'd love definitely got to hear one of your rap songs today about accounting
Uh-oh.
and tax planning. So we're gonna add some rap into this cool show that we're about to do. But you guys, what we're really gonna do, we're gonna focus on Ryan's services. You know, right now there's a lot going on with the PPP loans for our small business owners or people that are or big business owners. There's like I think it's like up to $10,000. You're gonna be able to answer a lot more of this than I can, but
Mhm.
$10,000 for your business, and that's gonna be gone in like 7 days or something. Like that's going to be no more, according to what I think you had emailed me something about that. So we're going to go into a few of these different areas. But first, tell us more about who you are, why you decided to pop on here to share your story with us, and what you're doing for the community right now.
Yeah, my name is Ryan. I'm a CPA. I started my business back in 2016 officially. That's when I quit my job to do this full time. And, you know, back then I was just kind of pretty sad, like working in accounting, like a normal accounting job. It's not that fun as you would imagine. So I was just really regretting doing accounting. And then when I quit my job and do this, it's like everything just clicked for me, like I finally found my stride and really enjoyed working with the people that I do. And so, that was 3, 4 years ago, and now we're here. And it's been an incredible journey. And um, you know, from that point when I first quit my job, I knew I wanted to try to scale my business in some way and kind of think outside the box of a standard accounting firm. And one way to do that is to have like online stuff on like an online revenue stream. So uh, doing like a YouTube channel and somehow monetizing that in some way has always been like one of my goals. But I've always had some like internal blocks. You know what I mean? Like either it's fear or something that's kind of get in my way, or just excuses where I'm like, nah, maybe I'll do that. I'll do that later. This is more important now, and so on and so forth. So because of this pandemic going on right now, and the all these changes happening, like the stimulus packages and stuff, um, I just saw like a huge need to kind of weed out all the bullshit that's out in the media and stuff. Like there's a lot of it. There's a lot of misinformation and conflicting information, and I just decided to just freaking start a YouTube channel, and just give like straight to the point and honest news, honest feedback, honest advice. And you know from there on, it's just been taking huge traction, and my channel's been growing like much quicker than I ever expected.
Absolutely. That's so cool. So cool. So what happened, man? What was the so I hear you saying there's a lot of misinformation out there
Yeah.
when it comes to tax preparation, accounting, knowing your numbers, going into business, staying in business. So is that what sparked you to just do the YouTube channel after all this time? You were like, okay, I'm done. I'm just going to go for it. And look at that. I mean, so cool that it's exploding the way it is. Tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, it was the misinformation. There was also a huge need for this information, as you know millions of businesses were essentially shut down. They're looking for assistance. They don't know what's going on because things are changing every hour. When I first started the channel, things were changing so rapidly, and I was actually keeping up with the changes. And I was trying to do like emails to my clients, and then I was trying to update like our Facebook group. And then um, I decided to just consolidate everything to like one Facebook group and a YouTube channel to reach the YouTube audience as well. And um, on top of that, I was trying to learn how to like best optimize uh, my YouTube channel in order to properly, rank on searches and stuff. And so I learned a lot there, and I think that was a big factor in my growth, because I wasn't just trying to put videos out there. I was trying to do it in a way to make sure it gets as much exposure as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So tell us some of these. If you're open to just dive right in. Millions of businesses potentially going out of business. I've heard some crazy number like 70 or 80% of people are going to go out of business by the end of the year, and all these things that of course I get all this from hearsay and Facebook and people and
Mhm.
just crazy stuff. So can you debunk some of these myths that are out there, that are being shown on whether it's social media or the news or hearsay? What do people really need to know about this stuff?
Yeah. So I think some of the main points here is that the government, the IRS, they're all really trying their best to help people stay in business, albeit their execution is a little shaky, but they're doing their best. And so I think the main thing that people are waiting for right now is whether or not there's going to be a second stimulus package. We had like the stimulus checks back in late April that came out to all the individual people, and then there was like the Paycheck Protection Program, and then the SBA loans. Well, the Paycheck Protection Program, that was the way that was handled was when they were first introduced. It wasn't great. Like they introduced it during a time of a shutdown, and they kind of forced employers to pay employees even though their businesses were shut down. So it was just not. It was kind of disconnected. So um, I do think that Congress is going to try to issue another stimulus package relatively soon for individuals and for businesses. Um, I don't think it's going to be, so there's a myth going around that's going to be like $2,000 a month stimulus checks for people. I
Mm-hmm.
do not think it's going to be $2,000 a month. Um, I think it's more likely going to be a $1,200 single pay check, like the first round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and people got for individuals, people got that most people got that $1,200 stimulus check the one time, or what was it, like 1,800 or something if you had like kids, or if you're married, it was even more. So
Mhm.
you're saying, do you think a second round of that is going to come through for individuals, or do you think it was that one time?
No, I think a second round will come through for individuals. It's probably going to be similar rules there, like $1,200 per taxpayer. I think there might be a $500 per child as well. And there's going to be like income limits, so like wealthy people don't qualify. But I think it's going to be fairly similar to the first round that we saw.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then what about for businesses?
Yeah. So there's been talk of a second paycheck protection program
Mm-hmm.
for even smaller businesses, because the first round was for businesses 500 employees and smaller, and 500 employees is still pretty big business. So they're trying to target. Uh, they're actually trying to prioritize smaller businesses. They're saying 100 employees or fewer, and there's still a lot of money left in the initial paycheck protection program, so they might roll that into the second one. But
Mm-hmm.
at the moment, it's just been a bill that's been introduced. It hasn't had much movement yet, so uh, gotta stay tuned on that.
Best stay tuned on that for sure.
Yeah.
And is the PPP expiring June 30th?
Yeah. So basically, your last day to get an SBA application number for the PPP is June 30th. So that means if you're on the fence of wanting to get one, or you need to get one, you got to hustle, because some banks, they take a few days to process. Some banks take like a few hours. You just don't know. So definitely, this is a time crunch situation if you're still looking for one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just as a side note, for those of you that are listening or watching, if you have any questions about staying in business, starting a business, and you've always wanted to ask some tax related or accounting related questions, like now's the time to do that. Like we have Ryan on
Yep.
live. We'll have him on for, another 20, 30 minutes. And so just being able to ask those questions right now, he can answer those for you. And I just want to highlight who you are, Ryan, because you have such high respect from everyone who knows you and that's worked with you. I mean, gosh, on Google alone, you have 106 5-star reviews.
There's one 4-star in there.
No way. Oh, we're gonna have to write them a letter. Ask them.
I fired that client. No, I'm just kidding.
You really do. It's one guy wrote a few months ago that it was the first time in 10 years they ventured outside of the family CPA and given the tax reins to someone else. And they said Ryan made the whole transition painless and maximized their year-end return, and that they really couldn't be happier and will definitely use your services again next year. And just really grateful you made it super easy for them. And I also love that you've responded to most, if not all, of the comments that people have left for you. So when you got started in business, just to switch gears a little bit, were you thinking, am I going to be able to, like, how were like, when you think about providing just excellent customer service, a lot of that goes into providing excellent service, right? But also being able to maintain all the business that you have coming in, especially right now. I mean, you're a dad, you're a husband. How do you manage your time and work through all of that? And have you always just been this 5-star guy in business that just came out the gates running? Because you seem to be such a natural at so many things. Can you help us understand a little bit more?
Yeah, I was never a 5-star guy to begin with. I mean, when I first started my business, I spent way too much time working. Like I worked more than I ever have, and I still kind of do, but it's more balanced now. But when I first started, it was like my business came first, my relationship came second, and that was not a good place to be. And I was completely unaware of that at the time. But when starting a business, it's kind of like you kind of have to put that attention into it to some degree. And so, at the time it was just me, and I was trying to do everything, and I had all these ideas of things that I need to do. Like one of the things is responding to your Google reviews, or having drip email campaigns, or just all the things that you need to do as a business owner. Trying to do it yourself can make you go a little mad. So when it was just me, I just had to focus on the quality of service and the quality of work I was putting out. And it wasn't until I started like hiring people or outsourcing some of those things that I can start to focus on, like responding to people on Google, or sending out drip email campaigns, or focusing on social media. Like it really just started to click when I hired more people, and that was a hard step for me to take. Was think of like another salary you have to pay, like another $50,000 to $70,000 you got to pay each year to somebody. It's like a hard pill to swallow at first, but then maybe a week after I hired my first employee, I was like, why the hell didn't I do this sooner? It just getting over those hurdles. And then I've always had like a really bad relationship to money, where I'm like really like conservative with money. I never grew up like poor or anything, but just really conservative with money, and like valued money, like put it on a pedestal basically. And so that was holding me back for a long time. And I think as soon as I got over that, things kind of started to bloom.
Yeah. Yep. That's good. And definitely, being willing to outsource so you can scale. So what would be your top 3? I'm just making this number up. If you have more or less, like top 3 tips as a CPA, when someone goes into business, they might be thinking, well, maybe I don't make enough money to be able to hire a CPA, or I have QuickBooks, I can just use that. What are the ups and downs of having a mindset around thinking like that?
Yeah, I mean, if you believe that you don't have enough money to hire outs, I mean, that might be true. You got to start somewhere. Like at some point, you might have to do everything yourself, or you might have to do the majority of things yourself. But you can't stay stuck there, because you're only limited to the amount of time that you have.
Mm-hmm.
And your time is worth more than any money any amount of money that you can make or that you can spend or whatever. So um, I, I guess it's this balance. Like, yes, there is a time where you kind of have to do everything yourself, unless you can get like investors or something. Uh, but eventually, you kind of have to take that risk, take that leap to get over that hump, that hurdle. If you really want to, if that's your goal, is to scale your business, and some people, they're happy like being self-employed and just working for themselves, and they're good with that, and that's fine. That's just not something, that's not what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of other people feel the same way, but just need that extra kind of kick in the butt to get it done and to go forward with it.
Mhm.
Now, one of the myths that people, one of the myths that's out there about working with an accountant is that they have to be in the same state. Is that true?
No, that's not true. I have clients from all over the country, and as I've started my YouTube channel, I've been getting more clients just from all over the country, and I can work with all of them as long as they're living within the U.S. I mean, I can work with expats too if they're living, out of the country, but they're U.S. citizens. I can work with them too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And another one is that accountants only prepare taxes. So obviously I don't think that's true because I know you work year round, but tell us, can you debunk that for us and explain why accountants do so much more than just prepare taxes?
Yeah, I mean, there definitely are accountants that just prepare taxes, but where you get like quality service is one that will be more proactive in helping you pay less taxes or help you meet your business goals and make better decisions based on your financial statements, based on what your goals are, and kind of include that in tax planning. And so tax planning is basically a service where throughout the year we are more proactive with our clients to help them make decisions to either for them to pay less taxes or to meet certain revenue goals. But that tax planning decision can't be in a vacuum. Like, you can do everything possible to minimize your tax bill. That's not
Mhm.
always the best thing for your business.
Right.
Like if you make like $100,000 a year, you can minimize your tax bill by spending that $100,000 on advertising. Then you have zero income. But is that really the best thing that you should be doing? Like I think a lot of accounts also got to understand that taxes, like saving money in taxes, is not. It shouldn't be like the only thing to focus on. There's so
Yeah.
many other factors here, and that's what we help try to do, and what we help our clients balance with our more advanced services.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, and we've sat down before and gone through all the different things that you do. And one of the things, I mean, there's a lot of different things that you do, but when it comes to accounting, you offer general accounting, which is it includes a general ledger maintenance as well as monthly close process, and you do budgeting and forecasting. Um,
Mhm.
and you can meet with people monthly or quarterly on sales tax and different things that they're going through. Is that all accurate? Are those things? Is there anything else, or anything else in addition to that, or anything that you want to kind of drill down onto those three areas of accounting that you provide for people?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate of what we do. We do like the monthly accounting work, whether it's bookkeeping or higher level consulting. We do tax preparation and tax planning. We can also do representations in front of the IRS for you. Like if you got like a scary letter or something and you just don't want to deal with it, you can hire us to deal with it for you.
Mm,
Um, and then one of the last things that I wanted to mention we do, but not many people know, is we do forensic accounting work, which is like fraud investigation, and we work with attorneys for that. Yep.
oh, that's I didn't even know. That's pretty cool. Or if you did tell me, I must have forgotten. So, so people can really reach out to you with when it comes to anything that has to do with their money and their business. And preparing their taxes, you're able to get people back their maximum amount. The taxes were, I think, extended. Are they? Is that
Mhm.
is that time? I filed mine a while ago. Is that time frame already up?
No, it's they've all been extended till July 15th, so we still have another like 3 weeks or so.
Okay, so if people, so you're busy.
Yeah.
Um, and again, thank you for taking time out of your day
Mhm.
to share this information with our audience and to do this with them. So if people want to hire you before July 15th, 2020, they can still do that.
Yeah.
They can't file their taxes.
Yeah. And the beauty of, I mean, it kind of sucks having an extended tax season, but the other good thing is that since it's been so long, we've basically caught up on our queue. So,
Mm,
if people hire us now, we can probably get your taxes done still before the deadline.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and let me just ask you a few more questions before we kind of wrap up here.
Mhm.
What if someone feels like, and you touched on this a little bit, again, like being able to outsource stuff, and if they have QuickBooks or if they're doing TurboTax and they feel like they can't afford an accountant, what would be your is that something that someone should highly consider outsourcing to help them down the line? I mean, I know the answer is yes, but I just want to hear
Mhm.
kind of your thoughts on that as well to help people understand.
Yeah.
Or people that think accounting is easy and they can just do it on their own.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So, uh, I think I think it's definitely worth hiring an accountant, and I know that's going to sound extremely biased, but I've seen a lot of things, done through TurboTax where uh, people basically have a very simple situation, or so they think. I've seen people with just W-2 jobs and like student loan and tuition payments. They did their taxes through TurboTax, and then I reviewed it afterwards, and I found like $1,000 that they left on the table.
Mhm.
And that's a fairly simple like scenario there. And so, while it might be cheaper up front to like buy a TurboTax software or file your taxes for free, you could be leaving a lot of money on the table, and you don't even know it. And the thing there is that sometimes TurboTax or those programs, they they do their best to ask you the questions that they need to get you to answer them. Sometimes it's not the right questions, or sometimes they miss questions, so that you don't even know that you missed, opportunities for getting a refund or for a greater refund. So that's where hiring a professional, even though it's more expensive up front, it could really bring you more money back on the back end.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, well, that's again, I just appreciate you being able to share some of this knowledge with us with the current climate that we're in, with the PPP loans and the stimulus check that may or may not be coming through again,
Mhm.
and busting the myths on accountants and filing taxes and when to work with someone like you, and also uh, around the stimulus check being reoccurring, right? And different things that are out there. So did we miss anything? Is there anything else that we should cover that you think is really important for people to know right now?
Um, I don't think so. I mean, if people want, definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel because I'm making videos every day, at least every weekday, to stay up to date with all these things and keep people updated. And so, yeah, I think if people want to stay informed and have more unbiased information about this stuff, then subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Very good. And can you give us, I'm going to be putting links to your YouTube channel. I'll put links to where we're going to be posting this recording on Google Play and iTunes and Spotify. Where can people, how can, I mean, for people that are listening to the recording, how can they get a hold of you? What's your phone number? What's your email address? What's your website? And what's the name of your YouTube channel?
Yeah. So best way to get a hold of me is through email, and you can email me at ryan@nguyencpas.com, or same. It goes to the same inbox as the email scrolling down below. Um, Phone number, calling me is probably one of the worst ways to get a hold of me right now because I'm usually in meetings like all day, so I probably won't pick up. But my number is 720-893-1245, and my website is wincpas.com. And same thing with my YouTube channel. It's just that Win CPAs. You just go to youtube.com/Nguyen CPAs. That's my YouTube channel. That would be our Facebook, same suffix there, Facebook group, LinkedIn, Twitter, and now I just signed up for Patreon, actually, so it's going to be the same suffix there as well. So if you want, I can just send you all that stuff and make it a little easier.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And then we can just have the information here. Everyone can see it. And just for those of you that know, he is not. It's not Win CPAs like WIN. It's NGUYEN and then CPAS.com. And that's kind of the handle that you can find them on YouTube as well. So yeah, if you can get all that information to me, I'll make sure to paste it to everything that we have where this is going to be posted. And I just, again, super appreciate you taking some time out to help educate people around what's going on. And glad to have had you on. So I'm going to end the broadcast and then we'll have a quick chat before we wrap up.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
Cool.